Welcome back to the land of K's, P's, frames, flops, and HDR. Welcome to
Flops.
PSVJ Cat. It is I, the self-appointed tech guru of PSVG, Devin. Can you go find me? And as usual, I'm joined by the man of the deal himself, Mr. Keith Diamond.
Keith.
I'm sorry, Donnie Reese. How are you today?
I already have such a short memory. I've already forgotten about that, so it's already made me laugh. Doing good, man. Greetings, Koopalings. What's going on?
Awesome, yeah. We're on this wonderful Saturday morning getting ready for the Devolver Digital Show and
Yes.
decided to drop a game tech.
I'm more excited about that than this,
I mean, I am
if I'm
too.
just being honest.
Hey, I'm right there with you. You know how I love my Devolver. They're insane, and they put on a good show.
Carrying out today.
Oh, yeah, I hope so.
It's got to be, right? It's got to be out right now.
I mean,
It's out right now.
It needs to be.
I hope so.
And if it's not, I'm going to be sad. But, yeah, so we're back. We're here. Let's talk some tech.
You sure you don't want to just talk basketball? Like, we could just turn this into basketball.
Are people asking for sports shows? I mean, I
don't know.
They wanted the wrestling show, and they got that.
I don't know. I've been thinking about it ever since, like, I saw J.R. Smith isn't happy with the bubble. And I saw people were making fun of him and doing the Jaden gifts. And I want to go home.
Yeah, Rondo is apparently unhappy with the bubble too, and the hotel accommodations. He was complaining about him, calling it a Motel 6.
If your Lakers win the pandemic championship, does it still count?
Hell no, it's an asterisk. I said nobody. This does not count at all.
It totally doesn't count. And I think all of this sets it up really well for like some, younger, energetic, defensive-minded team to maybe make a run, man.
If they have their players, sure.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, it's kind of setting up that way, but it's funny.
Yeah. The poor Nets have like nobody. Like, why are you even there?
Didn't they sign Jamal Crawford?
Did they?
I think so. They're just bringing in anybody. They're like, hey, can you play basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
What's his name? He was a Laker. Like, that was his last spit.
Sasha Vujovic.
No, Beasley. Michael Beasley. I know the Nets signed him. But if they signed Crawford, man, I've been waiting for him to get signed all season.
They did. They signed Jamal Crawford. He's a
I'm
baller.
rooting for the Nets. I'm rooting for the Nets then.
Get buckets, man. He can get buckets.
Dude, he's so smooth. Ridiculous. One day we'll have the Donnie and Dev show that are devolving.
I mean, we could just turn Game Tech into that, right? It could just be like a monthly us hangout, right? Like, would anybody be upset? Like, I think Rob 3000 would be upset, but would anybody else be upset? I don't think anybody else would be upset.
I mean, we can cover a wide range of topics. So
we just talk about whatever.
Yep.
Talk about basketball. We talk about kids. We talk about Xbox. Whatever.
We're not talking about Xbox.
Black PS5s.
Oh man, don't play with my emotions.
That it looks sick. I give you that.
I want it to be.
That looks so much better. And I don't want to say like better as if the other one does look bad, but it looks better.
I mean, you put black and red on anything, and I'm gonna automatically gravitate towards it.
That's what I was trying to say when everybody was all, Donnie's hating PlayStation. I'm like, guys, it's white and blue. Like, it doesn't fit in most entertainment centers.
See that I don't care about.
I know you don't, but it doesn't, right? When it's black, it just is more. It's easier to like envision and put it in, in a space.
This is true, and you put your little black box in your little thing.
Yeah. Do you see the AR tech video where they did the demonstration of what a PS5 would look like? And it was
it's a big, it's massive. I love it.
It was on like the little shelf, but it was as tall as the TV that was on the bigger shelf.
Oh, that's great. That's so good.
Yeah.
So good. Oh, the memes. They're fantastic. And I need to know why Xbox Pope isn't just the creator of all the systems.
Yeah, he's doing PlayStation now. He's become traitorous on his own brand. Now he's just making PS5 memes.
Look, he just needs to. Everybody needs to employ him.
Where are my Switch photos?
And nobody cares about the Switch.
It's just limited real estate.
I mean, it is, but it isn't, because the Switch has plenty of special editions. So
yeah, but they're just like colors. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure if he were to do one, it would be so much better than what we've gotten. That's like true. The Diablo one that's just the.
He is very, very good. I wonder like how much. I wonder if he takes into account like actual finances of these types of things or anything like that. Like he can't be, right?
You couldn't.
Yeah.
You couldn't. I mean, we just assume it's just a splash of paint, copy paste, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be great for somebody to come out and be like, "Do you have any idea how much this would cost?"
Right.
We can't do this.
I'd like to know. I'd like to know because that Miles Morales PS5 needs to be a thing.
One's a good one.
The Halo 5 Halo Xbox that he created needs to
Which
be a
one?
thing. Like all of them.
He's got one that has like spice orange lines, like accents, and I was like, I don't even like Halo, and I was like, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Legit. Okay, let's actually talk some stuff here. So, have you gotten any new tech since we've last podcasted?
Have you gotten any new tech? Because like it feels like
we've wireless chargers.
4 episodes just me buying stuff. Like we gotta get other people that also buy tech.
Yes, this is true. I pre-ordered a monitor, so the monitor's not out yet, but I did pre-order a 4K 144 hertz HDR 600 monitor, 27-inch monitor. Also has HDMI 2.1. Just been looking at screens and TVs and just with next gen coming and the fact that they only have HDMI, and in order to get 4K HDR and anything faster than 60 frames per second, you have to have HDMI 2.1 because it cannot push all of that information out on the limited bandwidth of regular HDMI 2.0. I was looking at that like, okay, let me try to find something that has HDMI 2.1 so I can make sure that I can get all of that. And I also wanted it to be a monitor because, as you know, all of my gaming space is done right here where I am now. So after just doing some research, looking around, I found a monitor that's not out yet that is coming from a company who actually has they just source what people want and try to turn that into tech. So it looks cool. I'm excited for it. It's a really nice looking monitor just from the designs that they've given, and the fact that it's HDR rated 600, like HDR 600, which is really good brightness.
I don't even know what that means.
So HDR has ratings. The lowest rating I believe that you can get to be certified for HDR is 400. So you have to have a peak brightness of 400 nits.
Is that my Roku TV? Is it
probably
the bottom?
It's the bottom, yeah. And then you have like 600, 800, and then like with the best to have like the best HDR experience is the 1000. So rated for 1000 nits peak brightness. So the fact that this one actually has 600, you don't really see that in monitors at all. So to be able to get that, to be able to get the 2.1, so I can actually push 4K 60 and HDR or 4K 120 and HDR, it was perfect. Especially since the monitor is supposed to be 144 hertz. So I can also do the 1440p HDR.
How much is this going to cost at the end of the day?
The monitor is actually $650.
It's not bad.
Which is, it's on the lower end for monitors. Like if you try to find a 4K monitor that does HDR right now in the 27 or larger, you're looking at $800 to $1,200.
That's what I was going to tell you. While I love my monitor for production reasons, I really do. Mm-hmm. Like I've loved it ever since I've got it for working purposes, which is the primary purpose of having it.
Yeah,
I do think it does leave something to be desired when I play my games at 4K. Even with like higher pixel counts and density and effects that look great in the 2K widescreen, there's still like I still have that in the back of my head. I'm like, but it looks better on my TV. Like at the end of the day, like even if it has all the things, I still think sometimes it looks better. I stopped playing Far Cry here because of that. Like I got it wasn't that it was bad or anything. It's just like I was like, it's not the
hard.
Same. It's not
hard
the
to
same.
go back. Yeah. So like my monitor that I currently have is a 4K 60 monitor, and playing games in 1440 they just don't look right. They just don't look right at all. So I end up playing them in 4K, and I'll turn down whatever settings or whatnot to get a good 55 to 60 frames or whatnot. And it's crazy. Like I can do 1440 and get above 60, no problem. My monitor will only do 60, so doing the 4K 60 is fine. But the difference in just the clarity when you go from 4K to 1440 on my monitor, it's so off-putting that I just refuse to play anything in 1440.
Which is interesting because Last of Us 2 is in 1440.
Mm-hmm.
But I had no problems with it, and I think a big part of it is I think that is aided with like the filter and the film grain and everything that they kind of add to it,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
normally turn all that stuff off. I normally
Mm-hmm.
do. But Last of Us 2 was so fluid in animation that I left it because I actually think it probably helps. I don't want to say hide. Hide would be like the wrong connotation, but just kind
Mm-hmm.
of mask or lessens the lack that the picture could be sharper.
Yeah. It drives me nuts. The film grain in Last of Us. It irritates the mess out of me.
I
I mean, I
normally turn
get
it
used
off
to it.
all the time.
I turn it all the way down. But what pisses me off in that game is you turn it all the way down, but it still
It's
doesn't turn
still
all the way
there.
off.
Yeah, you
I'm just
can't
like,
turn the motion blur off either. They love that
yeah.
stuff. It's like all the AAA production stuff like that is a thing. These game
I
makers, they
cannot.
want to make you play a movie.
Yeah, I can't stand motion blur. It drives me nuts in games. I
It
hate it. I turn it off on every game that I ever play. I don't want to see that.
it makes my eyes strain.
Yeah, same here. It
Oh, does
drives me
it
nuts.
really?
It gives me a headache.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it gives me a headache, and I say that, and I feel like it's such a, I don't know, like a snobby thing to say. It's just like what a lame excuse, but it really does. I turn it off whenever possible.
Same here.
Gears, Uncharted, Last of Us, like turn it off, all of it
Yep.
off. I wish I could system overwrite it like on my system. It's like,
Right?
please turn this off because I
Can I have
cannot,
a global settings
yeah,
motion blur off?
I can't take it.
Yeah.
It does bother me.
Every game when I boot it up, the first thing I do is go into settings, look for film grain and motion blur to turn that crap off. I want my game experience to be super clear. I want it to be a game. I'm not trying to play a movie. So
Mm.
miss me with that. And yeah, going back and forth between games at 60 and then playing Last of Us in 30 definitely throws me off for probably the first 5-10 minutes of playing Last of Us until I just get used to it. But it is definitely like one of those things.
So
Where
with
I'm like,
Last of Us
why
2,
am
it
I
definitely
slogging
like
through
bothered you.
mud? Yeah,
Wow.
it bothers me in the beginning, like when I'm first playing, because I've
Yeah,
usually
you
been doing
acclimate to
something.
it.
Yeah, that's been at 60, and then I get used to it. But for the first like 5 minutes, it feels like I'm chugging through quicksand.
See, I don't have that. It's a little bit different with me. I notice it, but I only notice it in certain games. And we've had this talk. Like I've
Yeah.
never noticed the frame rate in Assassin's Creed. It is never.
Mm.
I've never played Assassin's Creed and been like, this bothers me.
Right.
When I played Last of Us Remastered, it bothers me. But I think it's the animation and the character models and the like. It's an older game, so
Yeah.
I think I'm more acute to it. It's like I've almost been conditioned to see things better, through this gen. So as you go back, it's harder to handle.
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with it because like The Last of Us 2, I had zero issues from the get go. I was like, oh, it's good because it's solid. It's extremely
Yeah.
fluid. Like everything moves, at the same rate and everything. So I didn't feel like that tanky jitteriness. That's what bothers me. That is the thing. That's what I experienced in Gears. Like the
Yeah.
moment I played Gears in 60, I was like, I never want to play Gears at 30 ever again, because I
Right.
noticed that jittery. Especially like when you're panning the camera and you're moving real fast, which you do in Last of Us 2 a lot.
Yeah,
At
oh
least
my
I
god,
do.
the constant looking around for everything.
Yes.
So yeah, you're moving that camera, and oh my, that's where I notice it the most. I'm just like, stop it.
My wife said something. She was watching me play, and I was just going. I think I was just kind of playing on autopilot, right? As I think most people do. So I just run into a room, and I'm just like spinning the camera as I like walk the edges, like just pressing X to pick up anything and open anything and all that, triangle. And my wife was just like, "Oh my god, I can't even see what you're doing!" Like, because the camera is just in constant motion. I'm in constant movement, and I thought to myself, I was like, "Oh yeah." I'm not even really paying attention to what's like really happening on the screen. I just know there's no enemies, so I'm just kind of, spinning the camera around, trying to get through this as fast as possible.
Yep, pretty much. That's how it goes. Like it's so funny. Like I'll catch myself doing that. I'm like, if I were streaming this, it would be the worst. Like this would be the worst
would
thing to
be.
watch ever because it's just all over the screen, moving around in circles, and it's just like nobody would want to watch this. This
That's
is
true.
terrible.
That's true. Now, the real estate on my screen I love for like Golftopia, which I've been playing, and even when I was playing Gears Tactics, like the wider screen
Oh, that's
on a
perfect,
game
yeah.
that doesn't like, it's not pushing visuals. I was like, oh, this is amazing. This is so much better.
Yeah.
But then, Far Cry was the one. I was like, kind of want to go back to the TV though.
Yep, this is why I plan on getting a widescreen monitor to replace the two monitors I'm looking at you on right now and have my 4K for gaming.
Nice.
So
That'd be a nice
yeah,
setup, man.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great once it all comes together. I'm gonna have the widescreen and then two more screens on the side of it. So I'll have the 4K Super HDR that'll have the systems plugged into it, and then I'll have the other 4K for probably watching videos or whatnot. So I'm watching a YouTube video or something like that, and then the widescreen for work, production, those type of things. So
Nice.
yep. So that's the tech that I'm looking forward to. Have you got anything? I feel like you bought something.
I bought a chair.
Oh yes, that's right. Dev,
Yep.
go find me a chair.
Dev, go find me a chair. I've been sitting on this chair for 2 months, and it's like, it's been bleak here in Atlanta. Like this week has been bad.
Yeah.
And not just like it's bad in the news.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad if you work in the government and you're kind of trying to fight the good fight, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And then it actually has. I feel like it's been affecting me mentally. Now that's not like I'm not like I don't say that in aspects of like I'm not looking for sympathy or anything like that. It's just
Yeah.
I notice it, right? I feel like I'm on edge. I feel like I'm agitated, like I'm a little more combative than normal. And I think it's just all of it. Yeah, anyway, it's not been good here. Like we're spiking tremendous exponentially is literally the word. Our doctors are I'm on conference calls with them. They're like, I don't know what to do. It's like we've just
Jeez.
lost control. It's at the worst of it in April. We were at like 1,000 cases a day and people were freaked. Now we're at like 3,000 cases a day and people are like, it'll be fine.
It baffles me. It completely baffles my mind that they're just like,
Then yesterday
it's cool.
we hit 5,000 cases. 5,000. If we go 5,000 a day for a month, like what is going to happen? And then and then obviously we're a county agency, so we're having to work with the city. The city's mayor is like all over the news right now. I think she has vice presidential type wonders, So she's making all kinds of statements. She's fighting with the governor. The governor is like super, pro Trump. She's super pro Democrat Party, and I think trying to get on the ticket with Biden. So they're just constantly bickering back and forth. So like it's just this giant mess, which is to say that it doesn't look like we were returning to any sense of normalcy soon at all, right? I didn't mention this to you, but we had a delayed election like a month ago, and it was an unmitigated disaster. Like they stopped using the system that I made for them. They weren't wearing masks. We had super long load times. The registration system the state had crashed. It was a giant disaster. So in the midst of all of the COVID stuff, this week I've also been tasked with redesigning and rebuilding a brand new election suite and a mobile app and ArcGIS and all that. Wow. So I'm going to be sitting in this chair. I say all of that to really just say this. I'm going to be sitting in this chair for a while. And I bought this chair at Walmart. It's a $50 office chair. And dude, it sucks. Like my back's been hurting. My neck's been hurting. My butt hurts. I'm just like, this chair blows. And I would have never noticed it. But I've been sitting in this chair for 8 hours a day now. It's not like I come home, sit in for an hour or two while I game or check Discord and then hop off and go sit on the couch.
Right.
I've been stationed at this desk and this monitor. And yeah, I was like, I got to raise the flag. I've got to buy a chair. Like I just need a good chair, not a gaming chair, not a cool chair. I need a great chair, like a really, really good chair. I want the chair that'll last forever. So you sent me the Ergo Chair 2.
Yep. Autonomous Ergo 2. Yep.
Which I don't even know what it is. And I bought it. I was like, sure, that works. I'll get this expensive chair because it looks the part. It's got the lumbar, which has been a big part of it and all that. And it's got, it looks, big cushions and all that. So
it's got the breathable mesh. It has all the adjustments for the neck, for the arms and everything. Like when you said you needed a chair, I wasn't looking for a gaming chair for you because I knew that's not what you needed. Like just knowing like your struggles with your,
I think Bland sent me
carpal tunnel and everything.
Like Garrett sent me the Cyberpunk chair. It was all yellow and everything like that.
Yeah, I just knew that I'm not told you needed a new chair a while back, and you were like, "No, my chair's fine." I was like, "All right."
Hashtag Dev is right.
Right. But I knew that a gaming chair wasn't what you needed because gaming chairs they look cool, but they really don't typically give you the support that you need. Like they'll give you pillows, to put back for your lumbar support, but there's no adjustment there, so
That's
you
what this
can't
feels
fine
like.
tune that. Yeah, and same with like the neck. They give you a pillow that you can attach to the thing, but it doesn't give you any kind of adjustments or whatnot. And even the arm, same thing. So I knew that finding you a chair was going to be trying to find one that was more ergonomically fit for you to be sitting in it for 8 hours, and also kind of look cool. So,
And so like we're not sending the kids back either. So I've been talking to my boss, and my boss is like, "We'll make it work." He's like, you can do most of your stuff from home. You can come in when we absolutely need you to. He's like, but we'll try to keep that at a minimum. So I'm also gonna be doing like a lot of homeschool. I'm just gonna be here for a while. So I really, unlike a lot of the things, right? Like I didn't buy this monitor as like what I would call an investment. Bought the monitor because I didn't want all the cables. That's really all the reason I did that. The chair, I was like, this is an investment. This is like a quality of life investment for me the next 6 to 8 months of my life.
Yep.
How much is that worth to me? Let's go get a really, really good chair.
And hopefully that it does exactly that. Hopefully it gives you the support and all the stuff that you need so you can not be feeling like crap while you're sitting down for 8 hours, because that sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My neck, it's been in the neck. I had to go to the chiropractor, like an emergency chiropractor. I was there with like the mask and everything on because my neck was just like, I don't know if you ever felt this way, but I felt like it hurt just to hold my head up. Like if I wasn't laying down, my neck hurt.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just exhausting.
I had that feeling a couple of weeks ago. Like for like a week straight, my neck just hurt. I'm just like, what the heck, man?
Yeah.
What is going on? It just hurt for no reason. It was pissing me off.
So
wife gave me a nice massage and biofreeze and all this other crap.
Yeah. We got the massage gun and the TENS unit. I got the inversion table. I do all of that, and it was doing nothing for the neck.
Wow.
So yeah, new chair. Need a new chair. Glad I got it. I'm happy to report on it. I hope it's not like a pain to put together. That was the one thing that I thought of when I looked at it. I was like, watch it come in like 8,000 pieces.
I believe it'll be probably 4 or 5 pieces. Like the wheels and the base are usually like just 2 pieces, and you have the seat that you have to attach to the back with the arms. That's usually it, and it's usually all done with just like an Allen wrench.
Which I usually get my drill out for that anyway. So hopefully it's good. I don't think I've bought any more tech. So I look around. I bought clips for xCloud. I got little xCloud Stadia clips.
Yeah, I saw those. Those are nice for that. You also bought like 4 Xboxes in the time of the last show.
I have not. I have not.
You traded away your Series X or your Xbox One X to get the Cyberpunk edition. You sold your PS4 Pro and got the Telu Pro.
I did do that. Yes, you're right. All right, so I thought you meant like multiple Xboxes. Yeah, that wasn't the case. I sold my Project Scorpio Series X, and I bought the Cyberpunk Series X, which is dope.
At a profit.
I did. Yeah, I earned money. I got Cyberpunk for free and extra money, which was awesome. Which I very much enjoy the Cyberpunk console. I wasn't sure about it. I think it really looks better in person than I think it ever did like in marketing videos. And then I honestly, maybe I didn't do my research enough. I didn't know it did all the sound effects, which are really, really cool. It sounds really awesome when it boots up and stuff. The controller's good. It's nice. I got the Last of Us Pro, which is gorgeous. It's utterly gorgeous. That'll go on the shelf forever.
Better than the game, huh? Better than the system is better than the game for you.
100%.
100%.
Man. You know what I'm trying to do with
listen to that spoiler cast and finish the game.
What I'm trying to do with Last of Us 2, I've listened. I'm done, by the way. I've read all the things I wanted to read. I've listened to all the things I wanted to listen to. And you know what? This might be a fascinating insight. I think Ashley and Troy, they went on like Kind of Funny with Greg, and I didn't even listen to it. I'm not even lying. Like I looked at it, I was like, I'm done. I reached a fever pitch. I listened to all the takes. I listened to everybody's different points. I think I learned a lot about whatever, but the one thing that I wanted to I didn't want to let any of the, like the opinion, like take away from how I felt when I was playing the game. Right. That was like kind of my whole focus. I was like, no, you felt pretty strongly while you were playing the game that you had certain feelings, and I want to keep those. I want to keep true to that.
That makes
So
sense.
I listened to and read a lot of things. Kyle had a great. By the way, I tagged you. I didn't tag you, but when you get ready and you get to the spoilers channel, search your name. Kyle
Okay.
posted a great video of this person going through and explaining all the things they mentioned, Pulp Fiction, and all the things. And I was like, Devin's gonna love this because I think it's just right down your alley of thoughts. Right? It's not mine,
Excellent.
but it's right down yours. And if you're down that, like I can only imagine like the vindication you feel listening to somebody so elegantly portray all those thoughts. It's a great review. So actually, it might be one of the best reviews I think I've ever seen. It's
Nice.
extremely detailed and thorough. I was like, this is amazing content. Like, I don't agree, but it's really good. I subscribed anyway. I was like, I didn't even know this. That's the funny thing that there are times where I get like a reality check and I realize that there are just people in this game sphere echo space that I have zero awareness of, zero idea of, and they're huge.
Right.
They have 980,000 people to follow. I'm like, I don't even know who you are. I've never heard of this before ever. It is fun to find something like that, but it always reinforces I'm like really small. Really, really small.
It's crazy how that is. Like, you always just stumble upon somebody who you've never heard of but has this massive following. You're like, wow, there's just so much out there that I have no clue about.
And there's thousands of them. It's not like 4.
Right.
There's a bunch of them. But yeah, I can't wait for you to check that review and comb through the spoiler chat and catch back up. And I don't know, maybe we'll talk about it, maybe we won't.
Oh, we're talking about it. That's going to be your final hurrah.
Are you sure? I feel like I'm at like a mad point with it now. I'm just gonna be like,
You are going to be at a mad point, but I'm probably going to piss you off, and it's going to drive.
I don't think you can.
Us.
I don't think you can.
It's us.
You never piss me off, Kevin. Sure.
Well, yeah.
I realized yesterday it's just Kevin triggers me. Like he does get me. He gets to me at times. I don't think I ever feel that way with us.
Yeah, I feel like we just like talking trash.
Yeah, I think
that's
so.
basically what it boils down to. All right, well, let's move along and actually get into some news. So,
I guess we better start. We're gonna run late.
I mean, yeah, exactly. So, streaming platforms, we have some updates to them. We had the Stadia update July 1st. The Google Assistant is now available during gameplay on the Chromecast. The wireless controller play is finally available on mobile.
Yep.
They have the state share beta launch with Crata. So, yeah, you can create a link and share it with other players. That's cool. Game stats will be on the web, so achievements now. We're finally able to see those. Landscape mode on mobile, which is fantastic for the app because I want everything in landscape mode. That's just how I want to work in things. I don't like just give me landscape all the time.
Sure.
So being able to actually work the app in that mode actually helps being able to find things for me personally. So I'm glad that. And now you can search for friends via their email address instead of only using their gamer tag. So Stadia is still moving along, adding pieces.
Don't forget they have a Connect in 3 days.
Oh, nice! Yeah, I didn't even know that.
I think it's the 14th. They're doing. I think it's the 14th. They're doing a Connect show, which I'll tune into. I don't know if I have any big expectations, but I'll tune into it.
Yeah, I'll probably read the cliff notes after it. But it's the platform is just it's still going. Like they're still working on it. They're still fine tuning it. Like we said, it was definitely. I always thought it was going to be the long game for them. So. Starting to see things that we were expecting to have, way sooner.
Yep.
It does feel like some of the stuff is a little late, but that Stadia base, the people that are on there really enjoy the platform and are still excited when stuff like this comes. I know Grouchy Serves was probably pretty excited about being able to finally have the controller on mobile.
Yep. Because you can do the clip thing. You can put the clips on and walk around with it, and it's so much better that way.
Yeah, absolutely. So much
That's why I bought clips. Like I was like, I finally need to start clips now. I did realize I can't play with my Xbox controller wirelessly. It wouldn't recognize my thing.
Yeah.
So
that sucks.
That's okay. I mean, I can just go grab the Stadia controller, but when I was playing with the clips and getting it all set up on xCloud and everything, I tried to do it. I was like, oh, I wonder what Stadia will do. And it was like, connect a controller. I was like, I have a controller. And I was like, oh, I got to plug it in. And I probably should go upstairs and get it. I was like, nah.
Can xCloud work with the Stadia controller?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I've used it. I don't
There
know
you
if it
go.
uses. I'm not sure if it I don't know how far that support goes.
Mm-hmm.
But the last time I was really playing xCloud, and I was able
Mm-hmm.
to use the Stadia controller on xCloud, and it
Okay.
played. The Stadia
Doesn't that
controller, by the way, I mean, we said it back when we were at the Google Stadia show. That controller is fierce. It is a
Yeah.
really, really good controller. I wish it was more easier to use across. Like I could see the day where
Yeah.
I play with that controller like on all things. I
Mm-hmm.
really like it. It's really good.
Yeah.
My thing will continue and remain to what's the value for me jumping ship.
Yeah.
You know,
I was trying to use it for NVIDIA GeForce Now or whatnot, and it wouldn't work. So I was like, because it's like the perfect mobile controller for me. Like this is the controller
it's
that I
really
can just
nice.
take with me and have it work, but it just doesn't work across everything. But we will continue to watch Stadia and see what it does. And like you said, what's the value to actually, jump ship and get into it? So far for me, it's just not
Because I
there.
was doing all the console transfers and everything, I did realize, like on my PlayStation 4, I have 45
Hmm.
games. That's it. Right?
Yeah,
It's not a lot. It's basically an
not at all,
exclusive
not at
box.
all.
On my
Hmm.
Xbox, I have like almost 500 games. That's
Yeah.
where that's like I have this giant history and legacy. So when I open up xCloud, I have
Hmm.
dozens of games to pick from, dozens that are
Right.
just there, right? And I know that they still have to roll out prices, but
Hmm.
I was talking in our Discord yesterday about this. Like, I think I let that kind of cloud my judgment or at least sway me, and I don't say that
Hmm.
enough. It's just like it's going to be really hard for me to really lift up and depart from that. It's just like I
Hmm.
have so much time, and I think it became harder when they doubled down on backwards compatibility, right? So like when they
Yeah.
started last gen, it was easy for me to cut. I could cut the
Hmm.
cord because nothing was backwards compatible. I had to start over anywhere. Might as well start
Right.
over, over at PlayStation. But when they brought it back, it's like 100 games over here that I've already bought, games that I still would like to play and do play.
Right.
It's hard to get away from that. That's the
Yep.
thing with Google. That's what you're asking people to do, and it's not as simple, as just being
Yep.
good. You got to be good and valuable, and you're asking people that have been. You're asking some people, but a lot of people.
Hmm.
It's not a small amount of people. You're asking potentially 100 million people to
Hmm.
detach from what they've known, what they've invested into for so long, to make Stadia a primary place to play. It's a
Yep.
big hurdle, and you can't do that in
Hmm.
one day, and you can't do it with one game. It's going to take a lot.
Yep. It reminds me of like the people with Steam. Like they have so much invested in their Steam
It's
library. Now
hard
you
to
want me to use
Epic.
the Epic Game Store? You want me to use Origin? But like my entire library is over here. Why? Like that's exactly what made me think of when you say I have this entire library here on Xbox. Why would I want to switch over
I think
to
it's the new
this when I have
UI or
everything here?
something now. When you open up Xbox, you go to my games and apps. Like I just have a wall of tiles. And I think it was about 2 or 3 months ago I started messaging Kevin. I was like, Jesus, there's a lot of games here. Like I just kind of forget, because you just play the game that you're on and on and on, and you open it up one day and you're like, man, do I have a
Yeah,
lot of stuff over here?
yeah. It's massive, and with Game Pass, it's just going to keep getting larger. So
Yeah, and with xCloud, what are you going to rebuy all that stuff? Make somebody start
for
over
all
all over again?
for all the crap that I give Game Pass, yes, it is an amazing value for somebody who just
Oh, by the
enjoys
way,
having so many things to play.
those games I'm talking about, not even Game Pass. Those are
Jeez,
separate tab. These are all of the games that I own, plus Game
Jesus
Pass
Christ.
and EA Access. There's another tab with a couple hundred other games.
Donnie buys all the things, and he buys them all on Xbox.
Well, I think I played a lot during 360 era, and I have a
Mhm.
lot of those games. And for whatever reason, I'm happy I did now. I always feel this way about you with your Voodoo, right, and your movies
Mhm.
anywhere and stuff. I feel that way about
Mhm.
you. Like I wish I would have bought more digital sooner. But I
Mhm.
started buying digital on games like super early. Like, and then,
Yep.
it's not like it's not Madden and Call of Duty, right? It's
Mhm.
indie games. I just have a ton and ton and ton of little indie games, $10,
Yeah.
$20 purchases here and there, and you see my Switch and like how I play
Yeah.
these games. You do 2 or 3 of those a month, and you do that for 10 years.
You have a ridiculously large
Yeah,
library. If the PS3 ever, if they ever get that library on the PS5 or the PS4, I'll be in the same boat as you. I have so many digital games on PS3
I don't
that
want to
it's
pull
not
you
even.
away from what you're talking about, but what do you think about that PlayStation Now backwards compatibility spec?
Well, that's perfect because that's the greatest segue because that's like the next talk in our digital streaming stuff.
Nice.
So perfect. um, if it happens, it'll be cool. I mean, I think
So there's a
that
patent floating out where
yeah.
they show PlayStation 1 through 4 era games being played
Hmm.
on a PlayStation 5, but they do mention through cloud gaming. So
Hmm.
it looks like it's just a patent for PlayStation Now.
Yep, it
Uh,
looks exactly what this PlayStation Now, but with
but
more
hopefully
stuff.
better. Like
Yeah,
better and more.
that UI, that interface needs to be overhauled so bad. The search function is absolutely trash, especially on the PC. Like it's just, I hate it. I do not like it at all. I don't like navigating. I don't like that you have to exit all the way out to get into another game. It's very cumbersome. It is not user intuitive. And if they really want to make PlayStation Now a thing, whether it's on PS5 or PC, they need to change the interface and make it much more fluid. Just fix that
Did
for
you
the love
see
of God.
the thoughts that I was sharing with Kyle and Seth about this?
I don't know if I did. I probably did at some point and have just forgotten because
All
there's
right.
so much chat.
Um, often I feel this way, and I get it. Right, I have the Xbox show and all that, so I'm not calling them out or anything like that. That's not what I'm going. But I often feel like I have a hard time explaining some of my thoughts
Hmm.
about like PlayStation Now without being just called a fanboy or hypocrite. Because I was like, well, that's not what I want when we were talking about like the delivery, and they were like, all suddenly Donnie doesn't want a subscription
Ah,
service anymore,
yes,
right?
that. Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I get it. It's a funny joke, and I'm not saying I took it to heart or anything like that. I get it, but at the same time, it's like what I was saying I was different, and I hope
Hmm.
they understand. I hope people understand that it's not. It's interesting because, like Xbox, right? I have all these games. You would
Hmm.
have all these games. Kyle surely would have all these games. Do you want to subscribe to PlayStation Now to play the games you've already purchased and
Exactly.
bought? That's not cool.
Exactly.
You know, I
Hmm.
don't think so. Like, I don't think that's like, it's not what I want. Is it better? Absolutely, it's better. It's better than what it is now. There's more stuff
Hmm.
there. When I was doing my last demo of PlayStation Now, was the first thing I said. For them propping it up so much as a backwards compatibility solution, the backwards compatibility offers are slim, I thought,
Hmm.
especially if you want to go way back, right?
Yeah.
A lot of PS3 games, sure, because that was the last one. But I was thinking, like, I was wanting, if you're telling me, all right, we're not going to have native backwards compatibility, you're going to rent access to backwards compatibility. My head immediately goes to, and this is, I think people understand it because Stadia, same thing, right?
Hmm.
Well, then you better give me a whole lot of backwards compatibility to make that worth
Right.
it, right? I want to have it all, everything. That's like, if you make that argument, okay, there's some value there. Am I going to sign up for it indefinitely? Probably not. But if I'm feeling nostalgic, I'll drop a month,
Hmm.
go in, hang
Yeah.
out, play some hot shots or something. But yeah, that's interesting because I would rather be able to download the things.
Yeah. I definitely would not be paying to rent games that I already have digital copies of.
But I
I'm
feel
not doing
like I made a hypocrite because I have Game Pass where I pay to rent games. But do you see the distinction or the difference?
that.
Like, I feel like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
pretty easy to understand. I don't feel like it's being
Yeah,
a hypocrite.
because you don't also need Game Pass to play those backwards compatibility titles if you still own them.
I didn't buy them. They're new
Right,
games.
right. So that's the difference. And yeah, this if this is the case and it is just the only way to play them is you have to have PS Now and have a subscription to be able to play games that you possibly already own as well as the newer stuff. And also, yeah, if we're not getting the newer first party stuff the same way you're getting in Game Pass, it just doesn't add up, you know. So
I think it would be cool if you owned a game that was playable in PlayStation Now, you could just play it.
yeah, that's what I want.
That would
That
be
is
awesome.
exactly what I want. I would love to be like, look, you can pay for the subscription for PS Now and have access to everything, but PS Now is just ingrained, is baked into the UI or whatnot, and any game that you have a digital license for through your PSN account is playable through PlayStation.
Yep, you don't
Like
have to pay
that is
for it.
what I, yeah, that's what I'd want to see. So any game that I have a digital version of or whatnot, or even if I can pop, well, I won't have a disc, so that won't be a possibility because I'm getting the discless version. But if I have a digital license for, let's say, I have Castlevania Symphony of the Night for PS1, I have a digital license for that on my PS3. If they can then carry that over to PS5, and I don't have to pay for it, but I can play it through PS Now, I'm with that.
I am
But
too.
if I have to actually rent that access, I'm not.
You're
I'm not
subscribing to the service. See, I'm actually right there with you. If they did that, I would buy a PlayStation 5 just to tie all my libraries back together.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I mean, I know this is far stretch, man. If they included Vita support too, because I have a lot of PS3, PS2, and Vita games.
Yeah.
In my library, my digital catalog, there's a lot of that stuff there, and that's, I'd feel less inclined. It's like, I'm not gonna pay you a monthly fee to go back and play these games that I've in some cases bought 2 or 3 times already.
Right.
And then I guess the other hypocrite thing would come out like, well, you buy Super Mario World over and over and over again. But I wouldn't, right? Like I stopped. Like that's why I was happy to see the Nintendo Switch Online come. It's like, I'm not buying Super Mario World again. I have it. I have it on 3DS. I have it on, on my Super Nintendo Classic. I wouldn't keep doing it forever there either. But it's just it is interesting. I would get really excited for PlayStation Now if it could do one of 2 things. What you said, start sharing, be integrated into your account. And then 2, if it would allow you to have download features, more download features, especially for PC.
Yeah.
I think it's a no-brainer deal if you could download games and run them on your PC. Yeah. Like instead of buying Horizon on Steam, I could subscribe to PlayStation Now and download Horizon and play it within their launcher.
Just turn the launcher into Epic's. I mean, you bought stake in Epic Games, so
or do that.
Let me just use any digital copies that are also PC versions over in the Epic Store.
I would do that instantly. It's an easy buy, easy. It's an instant purchase, and it's just those 2 hurdles I think stop me from getting real excited about it.
Yeah, it's hard for me to get excited for PS Now because 1, I'm not really playing older games. It's just not my thing, and then just I don't want to have to pay for games that I still have. Like I own them. I don't want to have to rent those. Like that just doesn't sit well with me.
And I got like Siphon Filter and Hot Shots and I got all that good stuff. Like if I could only tell you how many more games that 45 would be on my PlayStation 4 Pro if I could download some backwards. That 45 might be like 145.
All the infamous titles.
Yes.
Freaking Scott Pilgrim.
Clock Tower.
Oh, you and your Clock Tower.
The GTAs.
Yep. So much stuff there. We'll see what happens. Hopefully they announce something. They market PS Now in some way, shape, or form because Lord knows they don't. But we'll see what happens. I hope that it comes to fruition and it's at least some of what we're looking for, if not all.
Do you think maybe they're just holding off on pushing PlayStation Now until they have this new stuff in place?
It's possible because they keep, I feel like we're seeing more consistency from the PS Now front. Like they're constantly letting us know the games they're adding. It's not just like shoved down to the bottom of like the PS blog, but it's more in your face. Like this month we got Watch Dogs 2 and Street Fighter 5 and Hello Neighbor, join PS Now in July or whatnot. So
I don't think it does them any good to push PlayStation Now while they're pushing PS5. You could say you could do both, but why? Like you obviously want people to buy PlayStation 5. That is the focus. So why don't push the other one? Like it doesn't. And here's the other thing. Doesn't PlayStation Now like equate to like 1% of total PlayStation fans?
Yeah.
So totally why invest into that anyway?
I think it's just to keep a reminder that it's there. So you're reminded that PS Now is a thing. And then if it goes big on PS5, it's not just all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, that's right. This is there. There were 600 some games on this service. And now you're getting it as part of the PS5. It's baked to the UI, et cetera, et cetera.
I got you.
I think it's more of just not so much pushing it, but letting you just that little reminder that, hey,
keep it in the back of your head.
This is the thing.
So I'd rather them make it better, fix it, get all the content, get everything good, and then do it again.
Yeah. I mean,
because otherwise you're Stadia.
Yeah.
Right? They're doing it. They're keeping that little thing in the back of your head, but how much is it really? You didn't even know there was a Kinect coming.
Yeah, that's true. All right. And xCloud is still probably going to be the best of them all.
xCloud's good. And I'm so happy. Man.
It just works.
I put my account on Jack's phone, and he has like some old Android phone from like 4 years ago that we had. Right? It's not even good. It is a Metro PCS phone.
Wow.
And it works. He downloaded the app and he put it on the phone. He put the clip on the controller. He's walking around playing Madden. I was like, look at this. And he said, dude, he said the magical words. He was like, soon we won't even need a Switch. I was like, uh-oh. That is the power of that kind of streaming.
Playing Nintendo becomes playing Game Pass.
And the clip is good. I'm so sad that I waited so long. But I was always kind of like waiting to kind of see where I went and all that. So I bought two clips. I bought one that works. It's like universal. It works with my Stadia and Xbox controller. And then I bought 4 other ones. I bought 4 clips for like $5.50 on eBay from China. And they work like a charm. Like I was like, oh, this is amazing. So I still don't like it. I don't like streaming games. I don't think like as much on the phone on the go. It's just not as good. I think the same thing. I'm playing in 2K when I was playing in 4K. It's the same thing. It's not as bad. You can do it, but do I want to? Not really.
Yeah, I'm in the same place. Like I'm like, I could do that.
Only in like extreme cases.
Really nice monitor.
Like if I'm stuck at work or I'm on a trip or something, sure, I will do it if I have to. But I don't want to. I'm not going to if I have other options.
Yeah, exactly. And that was what I was always hoping Stadia would be when they were 4K 60. You'll be able to stream it in that. No, you can't. Not even close. We just got 1440p.
It's a 1080p picture in 4K. I still love that they tried to sell that. They're like, no, it is 4K.
No, it's not, you sons of...
Well, I mean, technically it was. The image that you were getting was 4K resolution size of a 1080p picture. It's just like, I can't believe that this is where they went.
Yeah.
It's like Red Dead, man. It was muddy. Destiny was muddy. It's a muddy looking game.
Oh my god, it's so ugly. It was so ugly.
Have they fixed it? I haven't checked Destiny since I got Stadia.
I don't have a pro account, so I can't check it. That's just it.
So I got the free stuff. I think I'm good for another month or 2.
Oh yeah. How did you get more free?
Here was the thing. So you got 3 months for free, right? Everybody got that?
I thought it was 2.
Or whatever it was, right? I canceled it. But when I canceled it, if you went back to the site, there was a button to add more. It was do it, and I clicked it, and I just added my 2 or 3. I think it was 2 more months. I got 2 more months. And I was like, okay, sure.
I could have added 2 more months, and it'd be 2 more months that I wouldn't have used.
They gave me that $10 coupon. I still haven't used it. I have that
still.
Yeah, same thing.
If I find a $10 game that I want to play, maybe I'll buy it. But I'm not giving them any money.
I wanted to buy Wave Break, which is Tony Hawk meets Wave Race, but it's $30, and I thought it was $20. And 20 was a bit too far. I was like, that's a road too far. I can't. No. I'm not going to spend 20. I wanted to spend 10. If I could have bought it for 10, I would have bought it.
Done and done.
But it was like, no, it'll be 20. I was like, again, how important like a library and an ecosystem you're invested into is. When it was like, oh, it'll be 20 with the coupon, I was like, I'll just wait for Xbox. That was an immediate thought in my head. I was like, oh, I'll just wait. At least I know it'll be safe over there forever. Yep.
And it'll probably look and play better. It'll actually be 4K.
Yikes.
Damn you, Stadia.
You're pissing off the Stadia fans.
I just wanted so much more from the platform, and it hasn't given me what I wanted, but I'm glad that people are enjoying their Stadia.
They're going to come get you.
As long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
Stadia public enemy number 1.
I'm okay with that. Put it on my chest. I'm cool. I don't care. Come after me. Come at me, bro.
Come at me, bro.
All right, let's get into some PC news.
Uh-oh.
So, AMD, they released...
Uh-oh. That's a big one.
Oh, here you're back.
Yeah, I lost you.
Oh.
My dog's going nuts. You hear that?
Yeah, I hear.
Okay.
It's cool.
I'll have to edit all that out.
That's what they do. But so the AMD, they released the Ryzen XT processors this past week, with Ryzen 4000 still on track to drop this fall, and also looking like they're going to be really good.
Is this what's going in our consoles?
No, what's going in the consoles is actually it's a APU running on the current Navi 2 system. So these are going to be Navi 3 coming out in the fall. Right now we're working with Navi 2.
Okay.
That's what their platform is. So these are just a slightly boosted version of the current extreme Ryzen processors. And they come in at a really, really great price point. So they're the XT model, which is between 100 to 200 megahertz faster than the current X models. They're coming in at the exact same price as those models. So, which probably means your regular X model is going to drop in price as well. So, for example, the very, very sweet Ryzen 5 3600X is normally 250. So now you're going to get the 3600 XT at that 250 price, which is then going to drop probably the 3600X down to probably about 200 to 219. So you're able to get a really, really great processor for multitasking as well as gaming at a really, really, really nice price point, which that processor can give you about the same performance as some of the very high end Intel processors at half the cost.
Wow.
So AMD just continues to really push the price per performance at the point where like all of the like the influencer like, dude, AMD is just killing Intel. AMD's stock is actually worth more than Intel's for the first time ever right now.
Wow.
AMD is just killing the game. Like they're really doing a really, really good job with the performance they're getting out of their processors at just such a really, really, really nice price point. To the point where Intel is just kind of like floundering. Like
Are there are
there's like
there are there gains for me to swap up my Intel for
you
one of
would have
these?
to swap out your entire platform. So no.
No.
And
Never mind.
I mean, honestly, for you, an AMD system probably might perform better because you do so many things that are multitasking. Like you're working with media and creating, all of the stuff that you create might work better on AMD. But I don't know that it would be worth it to swap out your entire platform.
I gotcha.
Um, but the other bonus of being an AMD user is you can use this Ryzen 3600 XT or Ryzen 739 on an old B450 motherboard. So you don't have to swap out your motherboard. So you can go all the way back to the B450 board, which is an old board but still very stable, really good platform. You can go with the 550 that just dropped, or you can go with the 5700, which is like their higher end stuff. Also, those boards still are really inexpensive. Like you can get the Aorus Max Pro at $200, which is a great price for all that it does, and it's still typically a better price than you're paying for an Intel board. And with the 10th gen Intel, you have to go and get a whole new platform. So if you have a 7th, 8th, or 9th gen Intel processor, or I think it's just seventh, 8th and 9th gen processor, and you have like a Z390 board, you have to go get a Z490 board if you want to use the newer Intel processors. Where with AMD, the board that you have now is going to work with
Just works
these new
anyway.
processors that came out and the new ones that are coming
That's
out.
good.
The
That's how it
4000.
should be. That's
Yeah.
Xbox. Like that's yeah, just plug and play, keep going. That's awesome.
Yep. Yep. So I mean, what they're doing right now is just really, really exciting, and I'm constantly looking at AMD stuff to buy to build a new PC, to have a streaming PC, or just to have another PC because I just really want to build them. So if you're looking to build a PC, AMD is the way to go. You can get the Ryzen 3600X at a really, really sweet price point if you can find it. That's the other thing. Like they're at such good price points that they sell out almost immediately. They're really hard to find. Power supplies right now are almost impossible to find at decent prices. Like right now is probably the worst time to actually try and buy or build a computer just because
Any tech.
prices are
Game
going up.
consoles are through the roof. That's why I was so easy. I sold mine in I wouldn't even say days. I think my PlayStation sold in hours from
Wow.
posting to selling. It was gone. Or I sold my PlayStation. I'm sorry. I sold my PlayStation to Garrett. The one before it, I sold my Slim in hours. I offered it to Lucas, and he was like, I don't think I'm gonna do it right now, and it sold like 2 hours later.
Wow. That's crazy.
My
Yeah.
Xbox just flying off the shelves. Everybody wants it.
Yeah, so if you have tech that you want to get rid of, talk to Donnie and he'll get it sold in hours.
Get to eBay fast. Hurry.
Just talk to Donnie. Just like you asked me, hey, find me this. Just give it to Donnie, let him sell it.
I was happy. I got apparently a good price on that chair. It's almost $200 off retail price.
Yeah. Beautiful deal. So yeah, AMD killing the game. Ryzen 4000 on track to drop this fall, and everything that we're hearing is looking really good. And on top of that, if you buy the Ryzen 7 or Ryzen 9 model, you're going to get AC Valhalla for free, which is also nice. For those AC people out there, you'll get a really nice PC game that'll take you forever to beat. which is always, a good time for those people who like that.
You'll change your
A lot of
cards
games.
2 or 3 times by the time you reach the end of the game.
Oh my goodness, yeah. And we have the new graphics cards are coming out.
Hey, they said it's shorter
Hopefully,
this time. They said Valhalla is shorter.
okay. So it's what, $100 instead of 150?
Maybe.
So yeah. AMD, if you're looking to build right now, that is the direction you should probably go in. Jason, I'm looking at you. Build the PC, dang it.
Right?
Start getting the parts. Get this 3600 XT, man.
Sounds like it's cheaper than ever.
Yeah, it is. It is. If you can find the parts. If you can find the parts, it's definitely AMD is the way to go. They're killing the game for price per performance. And for people like Lucas and Jason who really like getting that price per performance, it's perfect. Like they should be so excited for their AMD platform because it is really, really good right now. All right, moving along to our last story of the week. Phil Spencer. He's talking about the Xbox Series X being held back. It's a meme that's being created by console war obsessives, as Donnie has put it in the notes.
I got the full quote.
I personally think it's ridiculous. Take it away.
All right, so this is a gamesindustry.biz has been doing an Xbox a day story for the last 3 days. They talked about them onboarding new developers. They talked about developing specifically for Game Pass and how the model's different, which is really interesting if you're into, like, I wouldn't call it like behind the scenes stuff. It's like corporate culture. And it's like Tim Sweeney, right, with the Grim Fandango team. I always forget their studio names because I don't really like those games. But, they were talking about how they pitch. Yeah, I see that. I think Kevin thinks the same way every time I say it. They were talking about how they pitched like a weird game that they knew would never get greenlit, like if they were going out for, venture capitalist funding. And they're like, sure, make whatever you want. That's cool. Like how Game Pass is kind of changing stuff like that. It's just neat. But one of the things that they had is an article that was focused on Xbox's Game Pass and cross-gen support, which is interesting, and I'm excited to talk to you about it. But here's the full quote from Phil Spencer. He said, frankly, held back, being the criticism that people have been saying, is that the Series X games will be held back from being awesome because they will have to support Xbox One. Frankly, held back is a meme that gets created by people who are too caught up in device competition. Yes, every developer is going to find a line and say, this is the hardware that I'm going to support. But the diversity of hardware choice in PC has not held back the highest fidelity PC games on the market. The highest fidelity PC games rival anything that anybody has ever seen. So this idea that developers don't know how to build games or engines or ecosystems that work across a set of hardware, there's proof point in PC that shows that not to be the case.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very different this gen than it was last gen because you were dealing with such different architecture.
Yep.
So the PS3 to PS4 architecture was a complete shift where we're still on the same x86 architecture. So you're not really being limited by the platform any more less than you'd be limited by making the game on PC that has to run across everything from your third gen Intel i5 with 4 gigs of RAM to your beastly Intel i10 or i9 10900K or whatnot with 32 gigs of RAM and an NVIDIA 2080 Ti versus a 960. Like, the game will run on both. It'll run on the low settings on the lower end, and it'll run on ultra on the other one. It's not being held back because it's the same platform. So you're not going to have that same issue that you had going from the Xbox 360 PS3 generation to PS4, where it was just simply such a different architecture that certain games were really held back by supporting cross-gen. Where I think this time we're just not.
On that generation, it was very much, to use a euphemism, it was very much like coding to the metal. You were specifically building a 360 version of the game, a PS3 Correct. Version of the game, where now you have a version of the game that just scales to different performance levels. But they're all like PC versions of the game, even the ones running on PS4 and Xbox Ones. They're still PC versions of the game.
It's no different than having the game on Xbox Series X versus Xbox, S. It's just enhanced because there's more stuff in the Series X or the Xbox One X, so it can run it at a higher fidelity, it can run it at a better resolution, it can run it at better frame rate. It's no different. Like this is the same thing. Since we're staying with AMD, we're staying with the x86 architecture. It's just this one is more powerful now, so it can run the game better. But it'll still be able to run over here.
Yep.
It just won't look as good and it won't run as fast.
Yep.
It's not being held back at all.
It's interesting
because you're not
people
having to, code for the lowest common denominator. You just,
as we do in the console wars, people are taking this statement as a clear like conflict with Jim Ryan saying that we believe in console generations, and I just see them as very different statements. One company, and that's not to say they shouldn't, because he went on with further quotes that actually did put that Jim Ryan's statements on blast. But Jim Ryan and PlayStation believe that they want to reward you for investing into their new platform with exclusive stuff. That's a business model. That's a business decision. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, Phil Spencer thinks that like you're potentially gating people out, right? And he says that video games should be open. That's okay too. Like both of those things can be true. They don't have to be against each other. But I've been hearing about this for a while. I think especially with the Xbox Series S model, Kevin and I have been talking about it. He's like, well, then games should be able to run on the Switch. It's like, we're talking about very different things. The Xbox One X is still very capable gaming hardware, extremely capable gaming hardware. Like there's no reason why a game built on Series X to take advantage of all of the performance upgrades and SSD and ray tracing can't also run. And I say the same thing. There's no, like, I guarantee you Miles Morales could run on a PS4. 100% it absolutely can. They don't want to because they want you to buy the new one. But could it? It certainly can. Yeah. For sure.
Yep. It's just really two different paths that they're taking. Like PlayStation, they said they want to separate your generations. So yes, while Miles Morales could very easily run on the PS4, is using the exact same game engine that Spider-Man did. It's just got more bells and whistles to run on the PS5. They can strip that out, boom, put it on PS4. It'll look just like the Spider-Man game that's already there, and it'll run and it'll play just fine. But they're believing, like you said, we just want to have generations. So if you buy the PS5, this is a game that's only going to be available on PS5. It could run on a PS4, but that's not the direction we're taking. Whereas Xbox is taking the different path where it's like, we're just going to treat it all like a PC.
It's interesting. The other point that I think goes along with this statement that I think everybody agrees with, but nobody's saying it. The first year or two of a console generation anyway, kind of the same. Like you're not really, it's not like the day one games we bring home, this fall are going to be so revolutionary like that they blow us away. Typically that comes later. Like what The Last of Us is doing on PS4 now is amazing compared to
how are they doing
what Killzone and Infamous did 4 years ago. It looks a lot better now, right? It's same hardware. We're not going to get there yet. So it's I feel like, because it honestly feels like a moot point. People are like, well, it's not going to, you're holding games back. It's like, well, devs aren't really going to be making the most awesome games for the first year anyway. Like all of the games that are coming out on Series X this fall were scheduled to come out on on Xbox One X this year. There's no new game.
You'll have, the Valhalla will look really, really pretty on the Series X. It'll look less pretty on the regular X. It'll have ray tracing on one system and won't have it on the other. That's just the difference. And I mean, we'll see some stuff with, the speed of the hard drive where like a Ratchet and Clank, for example, where you can't do that.
I think you can. PS4. You can, but you need load times.
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah. But you can. It wouldn't be as good, but could you play it? You could. You could play it.
It'll run at like 7 frames per second.
It wouldn't run at 7. That's too far. That's too much. Yeah, they could. I mean, because it's already not 4K, right? I think a lot of the Digital Foundry folks said it's like 2K 30.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would just run at 1080p 30, and you might have some load times and some buffering and some pop in. It's really pop in more than you'd have pop in instead of load times. That's all you'd have is just pop in. It could run. It is fascinating. And I mean, it's not surprising to me. I want to say that I'm not surprised, but it's fascinating the lengths at which people are going to prove like one console versus the other with all of these like, lore and folklore that's coming along on the sides. It's like, they are just PCs. This was the whole point. This was the whole point of where we were in 2012 and 2013 was to get to here. Yeah. This is the reason. This is the reason why we started this way.
More sliders, though. If you're really going to go...
Now, that's where we disagree. Yeah.
I want more. Yeah. I want more control.
I want the dev to tune it for me. I don't want to be messing with it, man. Let me tell you what I want, and you figure out how to deliver that to me, okay? I want more frames, okay? Click this button. I want prettier visual. Then click this button.
Dev, find me more frames. Dev, find me more visuals.
Yep. I don't want to be messing with any of that. I don't want to be giving me all the sliders and everything. I actually hate the sliders that we get now with like HDR tuning. They give us the sliders with all the black, white, and the red and blue, and they're making them like just you can't just do it.
Where's the optimize button? Where's just optimize from my screen button? That's what Donnie wants, the easy button, the big red easy button.
Easy button.
Where is it?
Well, here's the other thing with HDR, everything's too dark anyway. It's always like way too dark, so I'm just always like blast up brightness like as soon as I get to that menu.
We'll see, and that is exactly why. Like, you really want to have a TV. If you really want a true HDR experience, you want to have something that's rated for HDR 600, 1000, because then the whole screen isn't too dark. Just the really dark parts that are supposed to be dark because they'll have local dimming, those sections will be dark as opposed to like the entire screen being dark. That's the issue with the HDR, and why, some people are like, it's just too dark everywhere. Well, it's because your TV doesn't have local dimming zones where it can make the places.
What I'm saying, and I'm specifically thinking of The Last of Us 2, and I just think it's a dark game. Like, the whole game is just pretty dark a lot. Last of Us 2 is by far the best example of HDR I've seen in a video game. And the only reason I say that is when I dive into the settings, you can turn the option to have the little tutorial off, and you can see the screen, and you can see what enabling HDR and changing the settings does to the picture, and it is night and day. Like, if you were playing The Last of Us 2, you want to be playing on an HDR screen, and it's hard to say that, like, because I'm normally not as into that stuff, but clicking it on and clicking it off, I was like, oh, one of these is way better than the other one.
What's crazy is it looks way better on my monitor than it does on the TV that I had HDR on.
Wow.
It just looked better on the monitor, period. Because, I got a TV that had HDR, mainly because when I was in Vegas. I was like, I need a TV to play so I can actually try to play some of this game. And I played it on the TV, had HDR. I'm like, this just doesn't look anywhere near as good as my monitor. Like 4K, HDR, everything else.
No TV ever will, right? That's there are levels of price points that you get into. TVs are cheap.
Yep. Oh, this TV was $250. $250, 43-inch. The one thing that I will say about that Hisense TV was the sound was amazing on it.
That's
nice. I was like, this is coming from this TV? Wow, the sound is incredible.
All I'm saying is I love my TVs. My TCL Roku TVs are great. And I already miss playing Far Cry on it. I am going to go restart Far Cry on Xbox because it's like, man, it is really, really pretty.
We need to get a sponsorship for this show to get Donnie a really, really nice Samsung Q LED TV with local dimming and HDR so he can truly see.
Nah, son. Give me the Roku. All the Roku stuff. Still doesn't have HBO Max, and it doesn't have Peacock. You see that? They're all arguing over that.
Man, I don't care because neither one of those actually have 4K or HDR, so I don't care about HBO Max until it actually gives me that, to be perfectly honest.
You shared your account. I haven't even logged in. I was like, what's the point? I can't put it on my Roku. Yeah, I can put it on my console. I'm like, it's too much.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm like,
how lazy is that? I'm like,
it's not coming to my Roku. I'm good.
I was like, because now if I want to watch it, I got to turn on the console.
Wait for it to boot up. Get into that menu.
How entitled does that sound? It's like, never mind.
Roku is just such a great platform.
It's so good.
It is so good.
Yep.
Like, I don't want to do anything else. Like, the TV that I had Android TV.
No.
It wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad, but it wasn't Roku.
Yeah, it's not Roku. Roku nailed the Apple part of it. It's so easy. It's the only UI that my kids like understand. Like, we took our kids to the cabin. My father-in-law still has cable, like satellite Comcast. And I gave them a remote, and they were like, "What the hell am I supposed to do with this?"
What do you want me to do with this? What are these buttons?
My daughter, she looked at me. She said, "Dad, there's like 40 buttons on this thing."
Yep. My son, he knows how. He's 4 and can't read, can't do nothing. But you give him that Roku remote, he'll find the shows he wants.
Yep.
No problem. He knows the Hulu tab. He knows Netflix. He knows the Cartoon Network. He's He's good. He'll navigate. He'll find Transformers Beast Wars somehow, some way.
You
Can't
won't
spell. Find it.
you won't find a better Roku truther out there than me. My wife, back in 26 or whatever, 2006, 2007, whatever, when we first moved out, dude, she hated trying to figure out what source to put the TV on with all my consoles and everything. It drove her mad. Roku saved me from that life. Like, just put the Roku on, put the thing on it, and just click the source from the screen. I've never had that problem since. I don't have to work the TV for people.
Yep.
We've been Roku ever since. Like, I'm a devout, long-time Roku fanatic.
Same here. It's same with my wife. My wife was having the same issue. What input am I on? What do I gotta do? HDMI ARC and Roku is great. Just press the home button, flips right to it.
You can relabel them and change the icons. You remember the people are like, what's HDMI 3? It's so outdated logic.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean HDMI 3? Mine is called PS4.
Right.
The input is called Switch. So you can't be confused. And if you want to just watch Roku, just press the home button on the remote. It'll go right to the Roku input, and it'll go to the home page. Find the tile you want.
I just wish the TVs had that find the remote button. Like the new Rokus, you can press the button and the remote beeps. Mm-hmm. My kids lose the remote all the time.
Yeah, we lose remote plenty around here.
I bought 5 extras. I have 5 extras that sit in a drawer because I know it'll eventually turn up. So we just go pull one of the extras.
Oh, that's funny. How did we get here? We're talking about systems being held back. Oh, man. Uncle Phil. You know what's funny? Every time you guys talk about Uncle Phil, I immediately think Fresh Prince. I don't think Phil Spencer.
I think that's the point. That's the point. That's the funny part.
Every time.
We do the same thing.
Oh, man. So, yeah, next gen is not being held back by current gen. Just stop the nonsense.
It's really, I don't want to say it's a dumb thing, but it's kind of a dumb thing to say.
It's a dumb thing. It's a dumb thing.
Kind of is.
It's super dumb.
Like, I don't want to go at people.
Trying to cause divisiveness. That's what you're doing.
That's the hard part is I see that on Twitter and I want to, you see me, like, you know how I am. I'm just like, I hate seeing it. I'm just like, it's just wrong. None of this makes any sense.
Yep.
This is not how computers work.
Not at all. All right, so let's move along to our final topic, our highlight of the week. Something that is very close and dear to Donnie's heart. Controllers.
Ooh.
He's got like 4,000 of them.
Not really.
You have a lot of controllers. So.
I do. Compared to most,
probably
for sure.
Sold a lot of them.
There you go.
But you have
I rotate controllers. No, you're right. I have a lot of controllers. I have 3 Switch Pros. One of them's wired, though. I have an Xbox that's wired, which I love, by the way. The Amazon Basis controller is great. $15? Perfect. I have 2 Xbox controller pads, both the Bluetooth new ones. Mm-hmm. And I have my Stadia controller, and I've got about 14 Joy-Con, I think. So,
oh my god, there's so many Joy-Cons.
I've got the NES wireless controllers, so Switch never even opened them. They're just in the box.
Wow.
I have a lot of controllers. It's spot on.
Wow. So my man has a lot of controllers here. But see, he's got, outside of the Pro and like an aftermarket, there are so many other Pros. You've got, or other controllers. You've got your standards. You've got your Scuff. You've got your Elite. You've got your mini controllers. You've got your aftermarket. And then, for the Flux Legion, you've got your mouse and keyboard, which is the ultimate.
That doesn't count.
So it's like, why do you personally have so many controllers?
Cosmetics. I like the styles, so I'm a sucker. I'm that person, and I'll just keep buying them. They keep making new designs that I think are cool. I have the Smash controller. My wired Switch Pro is a Zelda. It has different faceplates, so we can swap it out. I have never used it. I never use it. I think I used it like one time. I got it, and it just sits there, but I don't ever use it. But I've got it. I've got this. I also have the SteelSeries controller that my son can use to go from his phone to the Apple TV. It's more like a Bluetooth controller, but it's really just cosmetics. Like I got the Cyberpunk controller with the bundle. I wasn't gonna buy the controller separately, but now that I have it, it matches. I think it's cool. I have a Gears controller because it's probably one of my favorite Xbox franchise. I think. I don't know if. Yeah, it probably is. I think I love Fable more, but I don't like Fable's not a franchise. Like Fable, it's coming back, but it's not the same, right? So yeah, cosmetics first. Now I had an Elite and I loved it.
Mhm.
The Elite 2 I loved. The Elite 1 I didn't. That was interesting. I
Hmm.
recognized that it was better, but I didn't think it was worth it. The Elite
Right.
2 I think is worth it.
I
But
love that controller.
once
So
they announced the Series X controller with a standard share button as they should have released, I was like, I'll just get the next Elite instead. So I
yeah,
sold my
see,
Elite.
nobody cares about that button
No, I
down.
care about it. That's the only thing I use my
You're the only
paddles
one.
for.
You're the only one.
I can't be the only one. I mean, they Xbox really screwed up this gen, this entire generation. They need like it's a share button. Like, give us the share button, and it should work faster. You don't play. You don't have an Xbox, right? Or do
I
you?
do have an Xbox.
Have you
Yes.
taken a screenshot or a clip on the
No,
Xbox?
I barely take them on the PS4.
Right. It's clunky. You got to press the face button to pause the game, to open the menu, and then you got to press X or Y to do the thing. And it's not like instant and it doesn't work. So you can do that on Switch and PlayStation while you're playing. Nothing stopped, nothing like they've got to fix that. I can't believe
I want you to
something
just
so
talk to
simple.
it and tell it to capture that. Hey, Xbox, capture that.
Yeah, that's what they were hoping you would do. Right? That was the goal of that was Matrix Xbox. You just talk
Can
to
you
it.
do that through the headset?
Yeah, you can actually.
Okay.
You still can. You can do it right now. You can say, "Hey, Xbox, capture that." Now, in my
So
experience,
on
didn't
the
work that great.
PS4. Ah.
It wasn't always. And when I say it doesn't work great, like it always worked, but it does. It wasn't like the exact time. So, like a lot of times when I'm capturing clips, I'm trying to capture a specific piece of the game that I want to share, and it would be like
Mhm.
3 seconds later, you know.
Mhm.
And it was just
I
like
thought it was always recording the last 15 minutes, or maybe that's just
you
the
can
PS.
set that up too. You can change.
Ah,
You can change the stuff that does that. But yeah, I mean, it's clunky. It's messy. And
yeah.
Xbox is better than that. And I'm still surprised that they still haven't fixed it, even though they got it better. But the Elite let me do it, right? The Elite let me do it right out of the gate where I never have to worry about it. And I got the paddles even to the point where I had to hold two of them down to make it work, so I was never accidentally taking them. So it was
Mhm.
great. But once they announced the new controller, I was like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do that instead.
Let me go. Let me go make some good profit off this Elite.
Yeah.
Buy a
Oh,
whole
I did.
system.
I totally
Buy a
did
whole
too.
system with the Elite, buddy, and then get the Elite 3 when it
It was my
drops.
arcade cabinet. I got the arcade cabinet for the Elite controller money.
Deals with Donnie in full effect. I still have my Elite 2. I absolutely love it. I wish it worked on the PlayStation, but it is. I love it. The weight of it, the feel of it, the paddles, which takes some getting used to, like the muscle memory to use them for, being able to jump or reload or whatnot. Like it gives you just a whole nother sense of control. Like I imagine, like if I would use this to play Ori to be able to map all the different abilities to the back, you'd just be floating. Kind of like how you felt like you were towards the end of the game. But I love this controller. It comes at a very premium price, and it's not for everyone.
It's worth it.
Not everybody wants that. I really appreciate it. I think if you're into the competitive scene in any way, being able to have a pro or a scuff or an elite controller is definitely worth its weight.
I mean, I'll
They're
offer an alternative. I think the Elite is worth it to anybody that's interested. And the only thing that I would ask you is to go find one and hold it. I knew the
yeah,
Elite 2 was worth it the day I picked it up. Like when I picked
oof,
it up out of the box, I was like, oh, like it feels better. It's just better.
it does.
I said it the
Yeah,
day I got it. I was like, this is the best controller I've ever held. And I still think
yep.
so. And I eagerly look forward to them making one with a proper share button.
Yeah, I was, really, really dead set against all things Xbox and their controllers because I really hated the offset sticks. But once I held that Elite 2 and got used to it, I was just like, oh, this is
It's
glorious.
the only way you want to play.
It is. It makes going back to the DualShock like, what is this piece of plastic garbage?
So, what do you think about Xbox Series X base controller? Because I think that one looks quite good myself. That's another reason. That was another reason why I was happy to let go of the Elite for now. Like, I believe there will be another Elite, but I also, when I saw the Xbox Series X controller, I was like, that's Elite-ish.
Hmm.
Like that's close. It's a good compromise right there. I think the new Series X controller looks really good with the new D-pad and the button layout and all that, and it just looks like it's bringing a lot of the Elite factors to the base model.
Hmm. That's what I want to see. I want to see them start to the standard become the Elite. I want to start seeing that kind of stuff that's just baked into the controller from jump instead of having to go and get an additional controller because we've realized that a lot of this stuff should just be a regular controller. They're expensive as they are, as it is. They're super expensive. So
They make so
let's
much money off controllers.
try to make them a little bit more premium.
Did
You
you see
know,
like
but it's
2019, the controller sales were up like 600%? Like they made so much
insane.
money off of controllers last year.
I mean, it's probably also because they fall apart. I mean, I know people who have gone through so many DualShock 4s, like the rubber falling
Yeah,
off,
it peels
the
off.
triggers not working. Like, I have the same three controllers that I've had for the last like 4 or 5 years. Like,
Yeah, I'm the
I have
same. I've never had that, but I also don't play 100 hours of Fortnite a week or anything else like that. So like if you're
that's
really
true.
putting in time, I know like Switch players like Joy-Cons, so like you can't do anything like that with
I'm ready to
Smash.
throw my Joy-Con out the window because it now has the Joy-Con drift. Like my son
Does
is
it
playing
really?
Mario Odyssey and he just runs off a cliff. I'm like, I want to chuck this
Did you
controller.
try
Let me
the
go.
electronic contact cleaner?
I didn't try nothing with that thing. I don't
We
play
got to
Switch.
get you to try it.
I'm gonna let him just use the aftermarket controller that I got, and he's fine with that.
That works
There's no,
too, but you should still try it. You should try it. There's no fault in trying it. You're out $4. It worked for
yeah,
me. It doesn't work for everybody. Kevin is very notable to say it doesn't work for him. It worked for me, and I know a dozen people that it's worked for. Like, and that's not exaggerating. I'm being serious. Every
all
time
right,
somebody brings it to me, I tell them about it, and they try it, and they come back and they go, "Yeah, it works. It worked.
all
It
right.
worked for Garrett, I think."
Okay, cool. Then I will definitely check it out because I'm tired of my son being like, "Daddy, do it." I don't want to.
You
You do it.
missed.
Oh,
You would have
Mario's.
laughed so hard. You missed. And I know we got to go soon, but there was a post Shack talk about this. Just that's why I so hot to trot on the topic. Or Garrett's been talking about his sticks drifting. Me and Rebecca kept telling him, go get it's a specific kind, WD-40 electronic contact cleaner. It's like a specific bottle. And he said,
Okay.
yeah, I sprayed the WD-40 in it. And I was like, wait a minute. Did you spray actual WD-40 in there, or did you spray the electronic contact cleaner? And he goes, no, I did. And then Rebecca said something, and he said, and I was still very confused. I was like, what? He's like, no, it works. I put the WD-40. I was like, don't do that. No. Oh my God. He's
Elect-
like, and he goes, no, it was the electronic contact cleaner. He's like, what do you think I sprayed? I was like, he's like, you just think it's corroding. And I was like, yeah. I was like, in my head, I was imagining you pressing the stick on the Joy-Con, and the stick goes right out the back of it, and just goes like right through as you corrode the thing. And for whatever reason, man, when I said it, we all busted out laughing. We had like a great
uh,
6-minute laugh about this little anecdote. But yeah,
hilarious.
the electronic content. No, the Joy-Cons suck. I like them because they've got colors and stuff, but they suck. Like they're not. Yeah, they weren't great controllers. Even when working, they weren't like super controllers to begin with. Now, it's impressive how much stuff they packed into something so small, but like that's not a controller per se.
Right.
But at the same time, the Switch's form factor necessitates that you have something like that.
Yeah.
So, but the Pro controller's fantastic.
Yeah. And the HD Rumble is very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the DualSense and Elite 3. What do you like? What are you looking forward to them besides the share button? Is there anything else that you want to see from the controllers?
Nope. And maybe that's not asking for enough, but to be honest with you, the Elite 2, you give me that with the proper share button, and I am completely fine with it as is. I will buy it $250 right out of the box. It won't bother me at all. Just give me the Elite 2 with the share button, and I'm happy. But maybe I just don't understand what I could be asking for. I never had a scuff or anything like that. But a lot of the Elite features, like the paddles, don't mean much to me. I think it's cool to being able to swap the D-pad and the sticks and stuff, but I imagine all that would stay. But like, I know the DualSense, for example, is doing some crazy stuff, right, with haptic feedback and like,
Mhm.
they're like it can monitor your heartbeat or something like that, or your sweat.
Those are all the patents that we've seen, but I don't know if any of that is
I have
actually
zero
legit.
interest in any of that, but maybe I just don't understand. Maybe I don't understand why.
I just want some back paddles. I want it to have better like tension as far as like the haptic feedback, like that kind of stuff. I do enjoy. It adds a sense of immersion to it. They can totally get rid of the microphone on it because I'm not yelling at my controller. I don't want to talk through my controller. That's what headsets are for and microphones. So I don't want that. And they still have like the tracking feature in it with the lights. So I'm wondering what that's going to lead into as
VR.
far as VR and how that
Yeah.
plays out. But I just want the controllers to feel a little bit more sturdy, a little bit more premium, like the Elite.
Now
I
with the
want stick
DualSense,
like garbage. Yeah.
battery life,
See,
battery life.
I have not had that issue. Like I think I've only had a controller die on me
I
one
have a
time when I
brand
was
new
playing
controller.
Raid for like 7 hours,
I had a brand new
8 hours.
controller, brand new right out of the box when I played Last of Us 2, and I had to keep recharging the thing between every play session. Now, obviously, there were long play sessions. Don't get me wrong. It is definitely like a luxury to say you want more, but the
Mm-hmm.
other consoles have more.
Yeah,
That's the problem,
yeah.
right? It's not that it's bad. It's that it's fun. You can definitely like I can play my PlayStation for 4 hours with no problem. If I go
Mm-hmm.
over 4 hours, it starts to become a problem. Start to see a notification, start worrying about it, right?
That's so crazy.
I can play my Pro controller on Switch for like 3 weeks.
14 days. Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
ridiculous.
just no problem at all. And my Xbox lasts like a week. Like I play
Mm,
my Xbox. It is also weird because sometimes I forget. Like I just kind of set my Xbox on the controller on the charger, but
mhm.
it never goes out. So I'm not even cognizant of how long I can play with it because
Right.
it's never a thing. But with
Mm.
PlayStation, especially when I'm playing long term games, it is a thing.
That's so crazy. I've just never run into that experience, but I've heard it so often from people about how bad the battery life
And I've
is.
turned the light
So,
bar off and I've turned it down and I've done all the things, but still.
so are you an internal battery or replaceable batteries kind of guy?
I don't really care. This is not like a thing that I would actually die on either hill. I think internal's cleaner, but obviously that has long term effects. I think the battery option is a nice option to have, as long as you can replace batteries with actual battery pack, which is what I do in all of my Xbox controllers. All of my
Okay.
Xbox controllers have rechargeable battery packs that I can plug into, and that's just
Yeah.
because I don't want to keep unplugging and doing batteries and
Right.
all that. So I don't.
Right.
Right. So that's an accessory for me that I like. So I think if given the choice, I think I'd prefer internal, but I don't
Hmm.
think having external batteries is an issue.
Yeah. More options are always better, right?
Yeah, yeah. Now it would be an issue if you only had to use batteries. Then
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, get the hell out of here, But I did the
Go
same
back to
thing with like
1995. Get out of
like
here.
my Wiimotes battery
Hmm.
packs. I just bought battery
Yeah.
packs to plug in there.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Well, I like controllers. I want to see some more elite stuff come to the standards. Donnie just wants that share button, baby. Give him the share button all
Share
day
button.
long.
No, I won is that controller layout like demo that you posted, like that GIF of like the screen and the screen popped up and then stuff.
That looks so cool.
I was like that. Now that is a cool controller because I would like that too.
battery would
Um,
last 4 minutes.
there are cool like Wii U controller things like that in certain games, like Xenoblade and certain things like that, especially like techie games where the menu that you were monitoring had like tech buttons and like floating particles. You could like spin a map around or click over to your inventory and
Yeah.
do things in real time. Always like that with the 3DS but really the Wii U felt that way, right? It felt if separated is different, right? It's different than
Yeah.
the 3DS
Absolutely.
being connected. That was cool. It's a neat idea, and I hope it doesn't die forever. I think it has for now, but I would love to see it come back at some point. I would love to see controllers maybe integrate a screen. Like that would be the evolution of the touchpad, right? Instead of the
Yeah.
touchpad, just put a screen in the damn thing.
Yeah. That would be excellent. Maybe we'll see that in the elite version of
We'll
the
get
DualSense.
holograms one day. Shit'll just float. It'd be like,
Oh man. Oof. Give me just the Tony Stark. Just put my hand in the glove, twist it around.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I'm all for
use some
that.
minority report screens where I can just throw things and twist and turn.
Like
and-
Astrobot. Like when you play Astrobot and you flick the thing and then on the screen it pops up. Man, if you could do that in real life. And you can. Like I know we can't now, but like it is possible. If you guys ever like Google like Intel light shows and stuff, like the stuff they can do with holograms and projections and stuff, it's crazy. One day maybe.
We'll get there. All right. Well, that's going to do it for the news and our stories. I'm going to take one of these questions that we've gotten from our dear listeners. I'm going to go ahead and take the Grouchy question. So Grouchy asked over on the Discord, he says, so say someone's jumping into gaming in November with the next gen systems and they're slowly going to build a great gaming setup. What is the order of importance for the pieces that you should get? TV, monitor, headphones, chair, Dr. Disrespect mustache, Twitter handle to get mad props and post setup pics. So what do you think is like the order of operations for what you should get for this next gen gaming setup?
TV first.
Absolutely.
It's called video games. The video portion is half of the thing. It's the video portion, the visuals, the experience that you have is half the battle. So if you're looking to invest anywhere and you have the money to invest into a better TV monitor and a better screen. You take advantage of all the next gen things. So I would start there. I don't normally play console games in like a gaming chair, so I will go headphones and then
Yeah.
say go monitor and headphones first and then fill in the rest later.
Yeah, I was leaning the exact same way. You definitely want to make sure you've got a great screen, especially with what all of the new gen systems, next gen systems are pushing out. Like you want to have a screen to be able to take advantage of that if you can. And with TVs dropping in price the way they are, you should be able to get a pretty good screen at a reasonable price to take advantage of next gen. The next would definitely be, your headphones. Like if you can get a really good pair of headphones, and as we've proven with all the people that have bought headphones from listening to this show, um, it changes the experience. Like the headphones make the games that much more immersive.
Played
Unless
Last
you're
of Us
looking,
completely in headphones
oh my god, it was amazing.
the entire time.
So once you get to a certain point in the game where you're in a place and somebody is humming a tune, the way these headphones did that, I had to keep looking around like, is my wife in here humming somewhere? Because the spatial element of what they did with the humming was so good. I
I
kept
just
being
love
like,
the
oh, yes, it's so good. So I mean, unless you're Lucas and have the ultimate Dolby Atmos setup in your garage in your basement, getting a really good pair of headphones is a must, especially with what they're saying they're doing with audio, with the Tempest audio in the PS4, and what Xbox is doing with their audio. Like they're looking to really push audio. So I think having a really good set of cans is definitely the next step.
dude. I might
The
need to
chair,
get new headphones. Now that I think about it. So
I
like
mean,
the
yeah,
Arctis 7s I love, but they don't wirelessly work with the Xbox.
yep,
And I'm
yep.
hoping at some point maybe they will. And it's not that big of a deal for me to plug in. Like I don't
Mm,
really care. But if I didn't have to, I wouldn't mind not doing it too.
yeah. Might have to sell those and go up to the pro model.
It might be nice just to press the button and put them on and play.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, I'm wired.
Yeah, I
So
don't mind the wire. I actually think I even plugged them into the PlayStation. And because I didn't want to move the base station and everything, right? It's all wired and Velcroed and all that. I've already done all that. It's like, I'm not moving. Just give me the damn wire. But it'd be
yeah,
cool if we didn't have to. It would
yeah.
also be nice. But I don't know. Probably not enough to buy new ones. But every
Hmm.
time I think of the Series X, I'm in the back of my head, I'm wondering, like, I wonder if they'll enable it for this. Probably not, right? Because they'll probably just
Yeah,
sell new headphones.
more
Yeah.
than likely. I'm sure there'll be a new set of Arctis Pros or Elite this, Astro that that'll come out that'll work wirelessly for the PS4 or PS5 and Series X and yada
Yeah.
yada yada.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be the order. And then yeah, after that, get you a nice chair if you are so inclined, or a nice couch. And then
Yes.
after that, your Twitter handle to post all your
Need
cool
those
setup.
lazy boys, man. The recliners. Sit back, put your feet up.
I mean, my chair reclines all the way, so I don't need the lazy
That's
boy.
how I
It's
played The
lazy.
Last of Us. I was like 4 feet away from the screen,
Mhm.
tilted. Almost laying down, just like.
Nice, nice. All right, well, that does it for episode 4 of PSVG Game Tech. We hope you learned something new, got excited for maybe a new piece of tech to add to your arsenal. And as always, we want to give a huge thanks to our patrons. At the producer level, we have Edwin Callow, Barry Cathcart, Josh the Bonesaw Borboni, Chris McElfresh, myself, Kyle Hyman, Paul Calico, Michael Masick, Grouchy Surgeon, Nick Fall Harbor. Without our patrons, some of these shenanigans just would not be possible. So we appreciate you guys for just continuing along on this journey of PSVG with us. Please feel free to follow us over at Game Tech Pod. And tune into all the things PSVG at the PSVG blog and PSVG on Twitter. Anything else you'd like to add, Donnie? Anything you're working on? Want
Oh
to
man, that's
plug?
good.
Stay tuned for our Devolver Digital show coming up right
Yes.
after this. And may all your K's and P's be bright, your flames glorious, and your flops powerful. We out.